the first shot you saw there was of outside left, Jebroshukin, one of the most famous players. I wonder if you recall one of the outstanding goals in the World Cup in Mexico in the last World Cup. It was he who scored it. And he's a man, of course, whom Willie Waddle considers one of the dangers. There's Rangers' team: McCloy, Jordan Matheson, Gregg, Derek Johnson and Smith, McLean, Conn, Steen, McDonald and Willie Johnson, and of course the substitutes. A very powerful looking team, and off we go. There's Sabo, Joseph Sabo goes down heavily, John Gregg behind him, Willie Johnston, and the whistle goes. It's a free kick. And John Gregg, no doubt, be looking after Sabo tonight. That's number 2, Basilov, to take this free kick. There's Ellie McDonald in very quickly to Willie Johnston. Johnson slow moving forward there. Dave Smith at the back. Russians retreating. Colin Steen. And Johnson can't keep that in. The game starting rather slowly. Well, the tension's been unbearable for everybody who's been with the Rangers party in this last hour before the match starts. There's Willie Matheson, Smith to Gregg, Sabo. This could be dangerous. And watched very carefully by McCloy. The goal areas, by the way, are the only bare feature of this beautiful turf. McLean. And it goes towards Johnston, in towards Steen. Now Conn. There's Dave Smith coming out beautifully. Into Conn. Out to Willie Johnson's gone onto the far wing. Cleared there by Dobonosov. And there's Smith back. Cool as ever. The home crowd don't like that. Steen up. The whistle goes. There's Tommy McLean slipping on that turf there. Dave Smith. A lot expected from Smith. Culture tonight, number 3, going in very heavily. Russians playing it delicately. There's Alec McDonald to John Gregg. Trying to find Johnston. Johnston still after it, going in hard. Tackling very hard indeed. Now Sabo, the man who makes his team tick. To Dolmatov. To Sabo. Beautiful little dummy there. This is number 8, Jakubic. Rangers backtracking, and Ibrahim wasn't in the right spot there. This must be a nerve-wracking situation for all the teams, for both teams. Now Dave Smith. Waiting for Matheson to go off. There's Matheson. Back to Smith. That's cut off there by Zhukov. Neatly down to Tommy McLean. On to Derek Johnson. Johnston with it. On to Conn. McLean. Can't get a shot in. The Russians backtracking quickly. They had about 7 men back there. There's Dave Smith. Matheson's in hard. There's Smith again. Neatly to Alec McDonald. On to Steen. To Derek Johnson. Russians almost entirely on defense at the moment. Johnson being allowed to go right up. Sandy Jordan on the far side. Here's Jordan. That was a bad ball by Johnston. Rangers open down the middle. And that was an atrocious ball by the Russian defender, putting it away. Steen again. And back from Dobolnosov. By no means an outstanding game so far. There's a good tackle by Steen. And he looked a bit strained as he went for that. This is number 8, Djokovic. Good play by Djokovic. And Derek Johnson getting in there. The ball just gone over. Russians quite unruffled. There's McDonald just missing out. Here's Matheson. Nobody up to take advantage of that. Here's Smith. McDonald to Matheson. It was John Gregg. Sabo. Sabo coming away very strongly. Out to Vrezhin. The man with a great shot, a great tackle by Derek Johnson. Here's Matheson. To Willie Johnson. Johnson going. Tackled well by Djokovic. And offside, number 11, Vrezhin. This is one of the dangerous pairs, of course, in this team. Now, Tommy McLean. We've seen little of him so far. Here's McLean deciding to go on his own. Willie Johnston. It's a decent ball, and it's just over. The number 3, Dolmatov. They go through powerfully from the back. Good tackle by Alan McDonald. Russians quick, recovering though. And McCloy a little unsure there. Recovering well. Now Tommy McLean. McLean doing well to get back to that. Alan McDonald. McLean towards Gregg. McLean again. Russians going in powerfully. That was number 8, Djokovic, coming away with it. It's a beautiful ball to number 6, and out comes McCloy. Out to Alfie Kahn. Onto Derek Johnson. Just giving it in. Willie Johnson. And number 3 putting it past. Number 3, Dolmatov. Corner to Rangers, and you can hear the Rangers support probably for the first time since kickoff. Russians content to do this, keep possession of the ball. Give Rishkin a good tackle there by Sandy Johnson, and it's a free kick. A free kick to Dynamo. Rangers team marshalling themselves. Vrezhin with it. Powerful looking figure, as all the Russians are. Somebody hovering on the outside. Sabo is going to come up there. Russians running around, trying to make an opening. Well, we haven't really had a decent shot at goal yet. Good clearance by McCloy. Dolmatov was up there. Tommy McLean. And a great shot and save. Certainly much more like it from Rangers. Here it comes again. Tommy McLean just getting in there, and the goalkeeper almost caught unawares. Rangers looking a wee bit more promising now. Smith going in. Derek McDonald feels for a penalty. No penalty. Goal kick. Rangers' best move so far. There he is, going through. He might have been impeded the first time, but certainly not there. And it might well be that the jelly, the kind of nervous jelly, is going out of Rangers' legs now. One hopes so. Johnston just missing that. Willie Matheson. Johnston. John Gregg. Gregg. Good tackle by Gregg. Colin Steen. Steen going in and impeded by the referee. And nevertheless, Rangers picking up the pace of the game now. This is what we want to see from them. I think they've let the Russians play around in a kind of academic way far too long. And now McLean to take this. Good one to that far side. It's touched away there by Zykov. Evrazin. Jardins in. No whistle. Dave Smith has it. Towards Colin Steen. Here's Steen. It's a goal! It's a goal by Steen. What a goal! What a goal by Steen. Here it comes. What a goal by Steen. He followed that up. And woof! In it goes. Pandemonium, bedlam. Rolled up, together, let loose. And even Rangers supporters around us, behind us, going absolutely berserk. And they're singing now. Rangers 1 up. Sabo. John Gregg's in hard and Gregg's at him. Sabo, one of the cutest players in the game. Here's Willie Matheson. Dave Smith. Beautifully kept in by Smith. Colin Steen. Alec MacDonald now. Alfie Conn fighting hard for it. This is number 8, Jakovic. Dave Smith. Willie Matheson trying to find Willie Johnston. Here's Johnston going after it. Great play by Johnston. Alan MacDonald to Tommy McLean. Now Rangers are really turning it on. And a bad one by McLean. Just when it looked as if they were setting it up well. Here's MacDonald. Matheson, MacDonald, and the whistle goes again, a free kick to Dynamo. And they're singing Colin Steen's name here. The Spaniard not very far away from me, and you know, he really looks bemused. He just doesn't know anything about this. This is not his scene. John Gregg to Tommy McLean. Neatly to McCloy. Spaniards are a rather decorous race, and I'm sure they're absolutely mystified by this sort of thing. That's Steen to Johnston. Willie Johnston with it. That's a hard tackle. And a throw to Dynamo. Willie Johnston looks as if he was enjoying that there, but Rangers shouldn't get too cocky about this. Up comes number 5, Dolbonisov. John Gregg with him. Alfie Conn. Great play by Conn. And MacDonald to McCloy. Wee bit slow looking there. Steen. Difficult to estimate the attendance tonight, but Rangers are making it sound like 100,000. Rangers supporters. McLean, throw to Dynamo. Here's Derek Johnson going up there, and down goes number 10, Mahovikov. Rangers coming very quickly back into the penalty area. That's a shot from the camera way up at the top of the stadium. This is number 4, Zhikov. Changing his mind about the direction of it. Colin Steenbeck defending. Sabov, Alfie Kahn. Great play by Kahn, just too slow there, Sabo. And Kahn down hard. Rangers trainer waiting to come on as Zhikov has it. He's been doing a lot of attacking down the left. Jakovic. There's a good ball to the right back. Vasilov. Dave Smith. Back towards Willie Johnston, and the goalkeeper way out of his area that time. Playing it cool. Derek Johnston. Here's Tommy McLean. Throw to Rangers. McLean doesn't relish hard, tough tackling, but it's a really very big pitch out there. A lot of room to maneuver. Smith, beautiful ball there to Willie Johnston. Alfie Kahn. Good ball, and the goalkeeper's up. Sabo just getting there. Good tackle by Gregg. Strongly in there. Throw. Sabo with it. This is number 6, Zhukov. Well wide with that. And you know, Rangers, watch what they're doing. They should be able to take this. John Gregg's there. Just a touch by Gregg. Gregg really, you know, is not the fit John Gregg we'd like to see, but he's out there and he's playing his heart out for Rangers. Matheson. Number 7, Bacchini. Back it goes to Vasilov. Cleared well by Sandy Jardine, McDonald, Tommy McLean. Bring that down neatly. Where goes McLean? Out of Colin Steen, brought down, free kick. And he's right over beside the Rangers supporters who would look hostile at the Russians if they even sneezed at Steen. McLean with it. A neat ball to Derek Johnston. Steen. Alfie Kahn. John Gregg. Here's Dave Smith. Smith going up. It's a good ball, it's a goal. It's a goal by Willie Johnston. It's a goal by Johnston. But there it is, watch it, number 2 this time. The Russian defense cut out in the middle. Willie Johnston's up there, a neat flick, and the goalkeeper completely deceived. Rangers 2-0 up. 39 minutes gone. There he is, a picture of a happy man. And here it comes again for you Rangers supporters who want to see it all over again. Probably see it 100 times, you wouldn't get fed up. Here's the second goal of the 1972 European Cup Winners' Cup final, and Johnson putting it in. And in true Spanish tradition, flowers are being thrown onto the, well, I would like to see onto the field. In fact, they're landing on us from the top. There's a good ball to number 10, Mahikov. Out comes McCloy, and it's a good touch by McCloy. Steen going in. Back to Derek Johnston, to Tommy McLean. McLean with it now. There's a neat one, and Steen's almost up to that. A corner, though. Tommy McLean with it. The Rangers emblem at the back. Craig Johnson trying to get up. Looked away towards Zabo. Zabo there downfield. There's Sandy Jardin. This is a very dangerous looking Djokovic breaking, and Peter McCloy outside line of Vresian, nowhere near it. We're in extra time in this half. Dave Smith. McLean beautifully to Derek Johnston. To Johnston and just wild. Sabo. Juko. And that's a corner, I think. It's a corner kick. Alfie Corner feeling that it actually got off the Russian. 2 minutes into extra time by our watch. Vresian to take it. Vresian. Neatly out there trying to find Khan. And there's a half-time whistle. Rangers leading by 2 goals to nothing. But Rangers, of course, coming onto a very strong game. They must be entirely content with being 2 goals up in a European final. All sorts of scenes going on in the terracings as Colin Steen starts off the second half. And the Rangers control themselves. The cup could go back to Ibrox. This is number 10, Mahonikov. To 8, Javikic. Russians you might find picking up the pace of the game. Here's Willie Matheson. And Jardin. Sandy Jardin. To Dave Smith. And towards Steen. Colin Steen. Steen with it. To Willie Johnston. Throw to Rangers. Back he goes to Dave Smith. On to Jardin. To Khan. Rangers will be quite content to keep possession of the ball in the second half, as long as that score remains. Steen, and here's Willie Johnston with a chance. And it's a goal. It's a goal by Johnston. Right out of the blue. Rangers 3 up. Incredibly 3 up. The start of the second half. Here it comes now. Watch how the Russian defense was absolutely cut out. Down towards Johnston, and he comes in at the back. They look towards the linesman. They picked his spot. Looked as if he might have hit it too late, but no, the goalkeeper slow going down. And there we are, Rangers 3-0 up. 3¼ minutes in, to be precise. Jardin, what a night for Rangers. Colin Steen. Nicely to McLean. Oh, it's a beautiful ball. Willie Johnston. Johnston. And that was almost to McLean. Rangers players striding the way confidently around this pitch. Songs rising up from all around the Barcelona stadium. 99% of it populated by Rangers supporters, or 99% of the people here Rangers supporters. Here's Matheson, and it's a bad one. It's a great chance for the Russians. And that's a goal. Number 13 has scored. Estrakov, the substitute. And a bad pass at the end. Russians playing up well, though. Just Colin Steen. Steen with it. He needs some support. He has nobody. Still Steen. To McLean. Oh, it's just over. Great play by Colin Steen. And there was nobody with them. Tommy McLean came up at the last, as you'll see. He was looking for somebody, and there it is. McLean doing well to take that first time. And it's a goal. It's a great goal. Free kick to the Russians. This is number 4, Zhikov. Ebrajin. Now Colin Steen to Willie Johnston. Fighting in hard, there's Alec MacDonald. And Johnston pushing and shoving, a free kick to the Russians. I think about a minute to go. A minute to go, allowing for that extra time. Alec MacDonald. And McCloy letting it go. There's Colin Steen. Sabo. Smith. Russians, and there it is. The final whistle's gone. Rangers have won the European Cup Winners' Cup. And onto the field go thousands upon thousands. Rangers have won, and I've never seen anything like it.
Gentlemen, some 33 years since that fabulous night in Barcelona. For the pair of you, are the memories as clear as ever?
They're still very clear for me, you know. It wasn't just Barcelona, I think it was all the games up to it and the run-up, you know, because it was such a good campaign against quality teams, and we did really, really well.
What about you, Peter? What are the memories of that night?
I think of the night itself as a bit of a blur, because I remember more about the games leading up to Barcelona, but on the night itself it was a pretty tense evening, and we're hanging on desperately at the end of the game. And I watched the game recently again, so it kind of brought back some nice memories again.
When you look back at the teams that were beaten in the previous rounds, there was a real quality there. You've got the likes of Rennes, Sporting Lisbon, Torino, and then Bayern Munich. Some teams that at the time were at the very top of their leagues.
Yeah, they were exceptional teams. more so than the likes of Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich had, I think, 7 of that team went into the German World Cup team it won in 1974. So they had real quality opposition, particularly against them. And to be honest, all my time in football, the game we played against Bayern, over in Bayern, where for the first half we put us under such severe pressure. I mean, they didn't just, normally you say you didn't get outside your own half. We didn't get outside our own 18-yard box. I mean, they absolutely put us through it. But we survived it and came through the second half, and by the end of the game they had shot their bolt and we actually ran over the top of them the last 15 minutes.
The Bayern team you talked of, they had the likes of Beckenbauer playing. There was some lineup at the time.
Aye, I mean, what they had is Meyer in goals, Beckenbauer, Breitner, Hunis, Müller, and every other one was, as I say, an international player, and they were real quality players, and as I say, they put us right through it.
To get wins against this sort of quality of opposition, there must have been a real togetherness and a real team spirit here at the time.
The team spirit was great. In the first half hour in Munich that night we got right hiding, and I would say it was the team spirit that kept it through it, because we're always capable of scoring goals. We always seem to play a different system in Europe, and it seemed to suit us. But all the games away from home we defended very well. Other than maybe in the Lisbon game when we lost a couple of sloppy goals, but most of the games we defended very well, and I think that was the platform of the success for the old campaign.
Does the manager take a lot of the credit for getting the tactics right in those matches? I
think you have to say so, yeah, because to be honest, every game we went out and we did the business. Not only that, I think one of the big advantages we had over most of the teams, no, nearly every team we played, was that we were a lot fitter than them, and that was down to Big Jock. Big Jock Wallace trained us really hard, and as I keep saying, it was like putting it in the bank, and that was one of the biggest assets we had. We knew when it came to the last half hour we would have far more in the tank than any of the teams we were playing against.
That was running up and down the sand dunes that paid off?
Just part of it, you know. It was also running around that big track out there as well, you know.
When the cup was won, clearly a momentous occasion. For the players though, for the management at the time, was there a feeling that perhaps there was more European success just around the corner?
Hopefully. I mean, I'd only joined the club 2 years previously. Sandy been here, he'd experienced the final before, but you don't really realise then just what achievement it is. And probably then we thought maybe we could go into greater things, but we were banned for Europe and the team broke up, and we didn't play in Europe the next year.
What about that ban? What were the players' feelings on that at the time?
Well, I feel it was an overreaction with the Spanish police. That every other tournament prior to that had happened, the fans had celebrated on the park after the game, and I think there were just so much enjoyment with the fans that there were just a state of happiness, and the police overreacted to it, and of course the fans reacted badly back. And
I mean, we were still on the park when all the supporters came on the park, and there was no venom or anything. It was just exuberance, and they were absolutely delighted. In fact, they were picking you up. They were trying to take your shorts or your jersey or your boots for souvenirs. Everybody was in a fantastic, jubilant mood, and of course we had to get off the park as quickly as possible. So what we didn't see and really weren't aware of in the stadium till probably about 3/4 after the game was that there was violence, and that basically came about with the police. Spanish police used batons to try and get them off the park, and were a wee bit heavy-handed, and it caused a confrontation.
Because of that situation, the trophy itself was presented almost behind the scenes. Did that take any of the gloss off the final?
I think that's the first time I really realised it would get on the park to get the trophy properly. They realised it was trouble, and it took it away slightly, I would say, not getting presented in front of the fans on the night. That would have been a special moment.
It would have been really special for us, because one of the things in Scotland, if you're a Rangers and Celtic, you're not really allowed to have running around the park or anything like that. In our day, it was basically, if you won a trophy, you went up, you got the trophy, and then that was you down into the dressing rooms. I know now they let them go around half the park and things like that. So for me, really, in the team, I thought it was a big disappointment. We never got the opportunity to celebrate, if you like, with the supporters and get the trophy in the stadium and maybe do your wee lap of honour and everything like that. So it was a wee bit disappointing.
Because of that crowd trouble at the end of the match, the club was hit with a 1-year European ban. No opportunity to then go on and defend the trophy.
Well, actually, we were banned for 2 years. But Willie Waddle went and put the case, and what they did is reduce the ban to 1 year. You know.
One of the interesting stories in the build-up, one of the previous rounds against Lisbon, if the referee had had his own way that night, the club would have been out. He took it to penalties when Rangers should have gone through on away goals.
He just didn't read the rules right. That was, I think it was John Fairview with the Mail that came in and pointed it out. Willie Waddle when they came in, and we actually thought when the full time whistle went, we thought we're through, and then the referee said penalty kicks, and we were astonished by this, thinking that is there a different rule in extra time. So we took the penalties badly, and they were carrying a goalkeeper around the park.
I thought that was really, when you look back, we're through now, but I thought that was a really, really funny period because when it came to the penalty kicks, it was a big pressure situation, and of course we went up, and it was only 4 years took penalties because we'd all missed the penalties, so we didn't. The fifth man didn't need to take it, and I think they scored all their penalties, and their goalie was getting.
They missed one.
Did he miss one? You had a great save.
We took the first one, so we took 4, missed 4, and 83 and scored 2, and that was it.
But their goalie was getting cheered around the stadium, and their supporters were going berserk, and we were all feeling really sorry for ourselves, trooping off the park and going into the dressing room. And then that's when the reporter came running in with the wee red rule book. Waddle read it, and then straight away along to the referee.
It was a funny night, because that was the night Ronnie McKinnon broke his leg, a terrible leg break, and it kind of more or less finished Ronnie. And so it was a pity, because he was right at the peak of his career.
It was a damper on a lot of things, because Ronnie went for a 50-50 ball right just outside the 18-yard box, and this player just went right over the top. And I always remember it was a crack right in the stadium. And Ronnie was lying there, and his leg was at one of the really different angle. And of course, when players see that, it leaves a bad taste.
Not easy. That Lisbon game in particular, the way Rangers eventually progressed, was there a feeling then that this kind of result, luck was on your side almost? This could be your season.
I think after that game, there wasn't a game to March, so there was a cooling off period. And I think before we played in Turin, Waddle had a talk with us and said he felt if we won that game, we could go all the way, and we did. Torino were top at the Serie A at the time when we played them. So
they were a good team.
Yeah, they were a very good team.
You know, they didn't score a lot of goals, but they were very well organised and hard to break down. And again, we got a great result away from home where we drew 1-1. We were winning 1-0, weren't they?
We were winning 1-0, yeah.
They put us under a lot of pressure in the last minute and last 20 minutes and that, but we defended really well again. And we played out here, and to be honest, they hit the post. But
we escaped home 1-0.
But we did well. We deserved to win. And you thought when we were getting through that, obviously we knew the teams that were in the draw, and the one you didn't want was Bayern Munich, because they were a quality team, and we got drawn against them, and they were big favourites. So it was a fantastic achievement to get through against them.
Absolutely, and you scored a goal here against Bayern.
Vicious left foot shot.
Vicious. Remember it well.
That's my story. I'm sticking to
it. In terms of the final itself, what was the build-up for the players like? It was the club's third European final. Was it, fingers crossed, for third time lucky?
Well, I think we went into great detail. I mean, everybody, in all the rounds, everybody knew the preparation was good. Everybody knew who they were playing against. The Dozier and all other players, what type of player they were. So there was a good. The Russians were a bit of a mystery team, because you couldn't get into Russia to see them the same. So, but everybody seemed to put his favourites after beating Bayern, and we went 2-0 in the first half, and we scored a goal early second half, and then I think we went to sleep a wee bit.
Maybe a feeling then that at 3-0 that was the game over.
The season had finished early for us. The season finished maybe a couple of weeks early, and we hadn't had a game. And
plus, it had been a long season, Peter. I remember I played 72 games that year, because I I was in the under 21 in the national team, and then all the run in Europe and all the league games and things like that. And to be honest, I personally was starting to feel a wee bit tired, and there was a pressure on us in the sense that we were big favourites. As Peter said, that nobody really knew a lot about the Moscow Dynamo team because you didn't get any television footage, and it was hard for it to even get into Russia in these days because of the old Iron Curtain countries. So there was a big kind of pressure because of the expectation, and a lot of Rangers supporters, obviously with Celtic winning a European trophy, wanted the team to win it and equal them in many ways, you know.
Did the players feel that pressure in the build-up to the big game?
I want to say we felt pressure. We didn't want to let anybody down, and I think when we were going to the stadium that night and we seen the response of the fans, we really realised just what it meant to the fans. So, on the night, we played. I don't want to say we played great on the night to our best, but everybody gave 100%, and we got through the game. John was struggling badly at the latter part of the game with his injury.
Aye.
And their midfield player was starting to make them tick a wee bit. So the final whistle came just at the right time.
I have to admit, looking back during the game, even although they scored late on, I never felt as though we were going to lose it. It was just one of these things. It wasn't until about 4 or 5 years ago I got a video and watched the game, and you realise then they were a really good team. Yeah. But Davy Smith and Derek Johnson, when I seen the game again, they were absolutely brilliant that night. They two were absolutely brilliant.
How would you both describe the feeling that you had at the final whistle when you realised the trophy was won?
Oh, fantastic! But they were lucky they could go off the pitch. I had to get for the goals. I didn't make it.
No chance.
And the fans got me. I was lucky. I get some guys, and they put me up on their shoulders and carried me in. But they couldn't see me getting off because as soon as saying they were ripping, they wanted to rip your boots off and just get a piece of your jersey. So
it was like every man for yourself, as soon as, because you knew they were going to come on, because the referee had blown just before it, and they'd all come on, and then they had to stop the game to get them off. So you knew when when the whistle came, that they were going to come on. So you kind of were pre-warned that you make your way to the dressing room as quickly as you can. But the dressing room in Barcelona is down steps, you know, and there's like shields that come out, and they open it, and you go down there. And I was quite lucky in the sense that I was in that side, and you could get down there quite quickly.
Peter, you can take the credit, of course, for setting up the third goal on the night.
Well, it's one of these things. The kick out sometimes, route one's not the way to play, but it was quite effective over the years in certain games for us, and it so happened that night it caught them out.
You know how big a moment this was in the club's history when here we are decades later and fans are still talking about that night.
Aye, it's a magnificent achievement. As I say, I was lucky in the sense that I also played against Bayern in Munich when we got beat 1-0, and to be honest, I was only 18 then, and you thought these things would come along quite a lot. And it was only later that you realised how difficult it is to win a European trophy. And it was a magnificent achievement by the team, by the management, everybody concerned.
I think now when you look at it, the way football's changed, whether we'll ever see that again, whether Rangers win it again, but it won't be with 11 Scotsmen.
No.
And that was a great achievement.
But to quantify it, people say football's changed, but see that Bayern team. If you were to go over and speak to people in Germany, Bayern Munich supporters, what's the best team they've ever had? They would tell you that that's the best team they've ever had, because honestly, in the semi-final, they had 7 of the German national team, but the other ones were like, say, internationals for, like, say, Denmark. The wee right back was the international for that. They had a really, really quality team, and if you speak to German people at the time, they'll say that their greatest ever team was that team that we beat in '72, because they then went on after that and won the European Cup a couple of times and things like that. They had a fantastic spell.
Incredible, like you say, a team full of 11 Scotsmen, something that's probably never going to happen again.
No, football's changed hugely since then, you know, and it's very unlikely you will see it.
Can Rangers reach that pinnacle of European achievement once again?
The competition's changed now when it's in the league format, but it can work for you or against the league format. It's giving you a game to recover if you have a bad match, and it's not like the old cup competition. But you need a wee bit of luck. But sometimes a group of players will arrive at the club at the one time and they'll gel. So I'll not say it won't happen.
And that's the big thing about how the Champions League and the UEFA Cup is now phased, is that when we played, if you had a bad game, you were out of Europe. Now you can sustain a bad game, but you can still qualify because you've got league sections and things like that.
For any new players coming to this club, what an inspiration that 72 team will be to them. They know that European success at Rangers is definitely achievable.
Oh, it's definitely achievable. Although I think it would be, you'd have to be honest and say it's a lot harder now because of money involved. The Bosman rule has changed everything, and it's all about turnover. The bigger your turnover, then the more you can spend on players. And when you look at what we're up against, when you see some of the top English clubs, the money they generate through their TV income and everything like that makes it probably a lot more difficult nowadays. But still can be achieved, I would say.
Do you both find fans that were perhaps there on the night, supporters of the club generally, are still coming up to you, still keen to reminisce about that night?
Oh yeah, always. I think as the years rolled past, that's the thing to remember us for. He played in that team, which is a great honour for us. And maybe I remember us for other things, who knows, but I think going away back to what we were speaking about earlier, I think at the time we didn't realise just what an achievement it was.
Actually, what would be great is if you could get the actual film and show there, because there's, well, it's 30 years ago, there'll be thousands of Rangers supporters who their dad has told or their uncle have told them and that, and never really seen it. And they should see that, you know.
See if you can get it in colour.
Well, it's certainly an opportunity for you both, for the team to write their names in history, and that's exactly what you did. Some wonderful memories. Thanks both of you for joining us today.
Pleasure.
Great.